like sushi. Want a big tip, better get the cooking. I am not paying you for all this lipping. Sapphire diamonds, yeah, they bluey bluey. Put them around your neck, you look chewy chewy. Blow 10 grand, please excuse me. Bless me real good, I need a hero cookie. I'm a tipper, I'm a big tipper. I'm a tipper, yeah, I'm a big tipper. I'm a tipper, I'm a big tipper. I'm a tipper, yeah, I'm a big tipper. Put up, or shut up. Put up, or shut up. I'm a tipper, yeah, I'm a big tipper. I'm a tipper, I'm a big tipper.
This ain't a rap game that I object, that's a low blow. Singing copycatting off each other, that's a no-no. Keep this original or just not even no show. I'm a big tipper, when I spend it, I'ma flip ya. So girl, drop it really low, show them how we for the flow. Candy yam is sticking ball, feed me and give me more. Haters gon' hate when they see us running state to state. The way that we be tipping, man, up this on some other shit. Down on this dude, what you mean, that's another chick. Coming in, going out on some other shit. Try to rip us off, best believe it, that's a no-go. Never trust nobody, even family, that's a no-no.
I'm a tipper, I'm a big tipper. I'm a tipper, yeah.
Welcome to the powerofvoices.com. It's a comedy hour live. And it's Anna Marie, looking at an empty seat. I have Scrunjo, who has promised to be on his way. He is doing a play tonight, which is I Only Needed a Hug. And I can say from seeing the play, it was, I believe the executive producer is Sherry Shepard from The View. It's an incredible show. If you do happen to have a chance to see it, it's an amazing story. And that's what I find out about most of the comedians that I have on my show. It's usually an amazing story from what they come from. And, you know, I shouldn't exclude the fact that, you know, it's a motley crew. It's a fickle bunch. But yeah, the more I get to know comedians, the more I understand they should have warning labels on them. And the thing too is, like, you know, a lot. I've been back and forth corresponding and trying to see. Usually, my first thing is I send out the address and where they got to be and what time, because everybody says, "Where is it? What time do I got to be there?" And yeah, it's hilarious because the last thing they send me is, where am I going? It's like, do people not read what people send them? It's amazing to me. Hopefully your team red or blue, whoever you're voting for, as you know, a lot of my friends are like, oh, you know, one way or the other, and be hating and getting all wrapped up in it. And I'm just thrilled to have the privilege to vote and get out there and do what you got to do. And I do see that, you know, according to what the polls are in. And of course, I was telling my buddy, I turned on the polls earlier, and of course they're like, "Yep, that's it. Nobody's this is what the results are," and it's totally not what the results are. But everybody runs to the TV as if, you know, when you look at that 1,800 votes or 18,000 votes to go, it's like, really, because you're gonna sit there and watch each one. But I have friends who do that. I have friends who are constantly bringing stuff up. If you're out there, shout out, because I'm running this on my page. Hopefully. I got it up there, and, well, I'm at my show. Don't worry about that. I can see me. And hey, Meg, I can see you. You took a gander at that. That's really cool. Last time people were talking to me, and I really couldn't see it because I usually have a guest sitting in that chair that I can look at. My opening song, too, by the way, that I've been playing is by Yahweh Poetic from YMMG, available on iTunes. Check it on YouTube, SoundCloud. New music. They are amazing record label. Lots of artists on there that, yeah, the music is something that is a little different from what you hear today. It's usually a very positive message, and I really like playing that. Been trying to get some music played within the regulations of what Facebook has to say about that. But I do have a couple of people that have asked me if they could send in their music, if I could highlight them. So that'll be coming up. And I'm so excited because next week, I got Big Ja coming on my show. Now, Big Ja is one of the Instagram fam that does the videos that are 60 seconds, that they run in series. They have a huge following. He's a massive man, I must say, so just by himself. And he's going to be here. We're going to be running that. And what we're going to do is, what I'd like to do is, like, we're going to be putting up more of their clips and stuff from what they do, and maybe even have a clip of the week, you know, something from Instagram. I did see a clip. I don't know how to upload it. If you get a chance to check him out, IB Moore, he is, I mean, I was laugh out loud crying the way he does his videos. There's also a lot of Instagram stuff. I'm thinking tonight a lot of people are going to need something to laugh about, right? Because everybody gets so wrapped up in all of that. I saw a lot of great things, you know, people turning out to vote as I try and adjust my phone. So hold on. Turn around sideways. That's my boy guy, Lee. Lee's here. Lee, what do you think? Are you happy with the results? He's not. He's going to say no. Lee wanted it all. Lee wanted everything, right?
You're damn right.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't blame you.
I wanted to see the Democrats win the House, the Senate, and just make the president so fucking nuts he would quit.
Wait, he is fucking nuts. Thank you very much. And you know, it's really kind of funny because you know, if you look from a comedy point of view, he's like a one-man show. I mean, he's
oh yeah, I wish it would end.
But I mean, there isn't even any room for comedians to do anything because he owns it
does
all
himself.
It's like just when you'd want to do material on that, he does something that upstages even the ridiculousness of the week before.
Absolutely.
And I have friends that are absolute passionate Republicans, which I think of them as fairly intelligent people. But I don't know how you turn. I really don't understand how people don't look at like everything that we've been dealing with and not think that there's an absolute like question of sanity, you know?
I agree.
And yeah, you know, it is, you know, what is it? You just stay with who your party is?
Well, pretty much. I mean, people are just misinformed, I think, for the most part.
Oh man, they were telling, it's not just that. They also have made it like there was incidences of like the problems at the voting booth.
Oh, they're making all that shit up.
You know, it was really funny because the lady says to me as I go in, she goes, all right, now this is how you do it. And I've never done what the system is now because of the Chad situation. And she's showing me the ink pen.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I did live in Florida, so I am aware of the chads. Of the hanging chads. I mean, remember, it's like,
yeah,
it's been something almost constantly. I mean,
controversy.
Yeah, I mean, how is it that in the age that we live in, with you know, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, you can upload videos. What kids, you know, maybe we should let a bunch of young kids loose on, like, hey, can you fix this for us? Because every system we have in place is ridiculous of how they can kind of manipulate situations, right?
Well, yeah, it's because we rush to fail. See, we invent stuff, but we don't think about the back end. And what if
default systems in place. Yeah,
exactly.
And the whole thing of it is like, you know, there are people where I have to actually sit with it that I was like, oh, I like this person so much, and I went on their Instagram and they've got on support Trump, and I'm just like, I'm not sure how I feel about this person right now. And you know, we used to have something that was really in common. We all hated communism. Right. So it was all about, we were fighting something other than ourselves.
Right.
Are we just like the Hatfields and McCoys and will eternally be that? Because
pretty much
it's like, let's find something to fight about.
But see, nothing has changed. It's always
insane.
Been divided.
It has been.
But this president has made it chic, cool, acceptable to be a blatant jerk, an overt racist, knucklehead, knuckle-dragging fool.
Yeah, well, you know,
he's made it popular.
It's really funny because, you know, I have to say that there's certain things I will not get in an argument with, and you know, I refuse to be the imbecile in the room. You know, if I don't know enough about something, I'm like, I really don't have enough information to give you a valid debate. Because, you know, I had my friend help me. I'm like, look, I'm never going to read all these. You know, they sent you the book list. These are the questions. And you got to fill out. And you got to read. And I mean, I'd have to read and look up words at the same time. And that would be just, you know, too time consuming for me. So I want the Cliff Notes to how to properly vote these questions. What are we looking at here?
Well, see, that's the problem with most people.
Well, why not have let's offer a course?
But they do. There's a website. It's called voteready.gov.
Voting for dummies. Keep it simple.
Yeah,
I'll be like,
you go there but see, here's the thing. You're going to have to read each item in terms of the pros and the cons.
Right.
So you got to consume.
I took traffic school from the frickin' state of California. Thank you very much. And they actually had what Eric Estrada
Yeah.
in the one that I took. And I thought, I mean, they would have the question and then he would explain it for the slow thinkers in the room as myself. What does that mean? And I'm like, yeah, what does that mean? Because you can't even read the California parking signs, let alone figure out I'm in parking school. I got to take this test. The parking signs at the end. The parking signs, right? So I got Eric Estrada explaining
you mean
the law.
Parking signs?
Those two, son of a bitches. I swear to God, some of this stuff is written in Braille. I'm like sitting there, and it's kind of funny because the expectation that you have when you go into the voting booth, okay?
Yeah.
And I mean, the little lady, she was so sweet, and she's like, "Let me explain this to you." And I wanted to say to her because, like, I'm all like, I want to get out, get through this, lady. I got my answers right here, and I actually looked at her. I said, "Is this going to take long? I mean, how complicated can it be?" You open the booklet. Right. I mean, really? All right. Yep. If we're having trouble at that point, you need to leave. If you don't understand, you unfold it, and then she's doing the pen.
Right.
And you press down on it.
Yes.
As if, one shot, I get it. But, the sample board, she had to go through at least 10 of them to make sure I understood how the pen worked. Really? Who are the people voting? Seriously. I know, right? So I'm like, okay, I'm going to get through this. I'm going to just...
the lady next to me in the booth next to me, she was going through major anxiety. I mean, she was sweating. It was a nice day in California. It wasn't really hot.
But it's just, I'm not sure.
She was,
I wanted the guy, and I got to answer this
I
right.
thought she was going to pee on herself.
Right? Well, it
really
does. I don't know if
time.
anybody actually goes to the voting booth and did some of the questionnaires I filled out in school. Just fill them in. It's like Democratic. Okay, Democratic. I know all those. And then it got complicated. And then my friend had, this is what the Democratic Party wants you to answer the questions. So that's great. This is what where they're at. I can follow that. But then there was the gray area of names on a page, but there's no other names. Those were good. I knew that if there were no other names on the page,
you got to vote for that
you just got to vote for that person, right?
You don't have to, but yeah.
But it's like, all right, my duty. I don't know who these people are or what they do.
I was a little screwed up on the judges because I didn't read up on any of those guys.
Right. Well, they bank on
I don't know
that.
whether good, bad, or indifferent.
Oh, you'll know if you're standing in front. I'm sorry, were you on the ballot?
Right.
Son of a bitch, I knew I shouldn't have voted for you.
That I might have recognized, but I didn't recognize any of them. So I haven't been in front of any judges here in California yet.
Right. I mean, they had me. It was really funny because it was like, you have it registered here that you're a mail-in voter, and I'm like, why would I do that? Did I do that?
Right.
I can't remember. Maybe I did. I was in between everything.
They send me ballots every fucking election, and I keep going to the website, and I tell them I don't want to vote by mail, and they send it to me anyway.
I still
so
have
then
Florida
you have to
call.
bring the ballot
right
to the poll.
No, I didn't have that.
Did they give you a provisional?
Yeah, what they did was, it was like, oh, Mary, she didn't bring her stuff, so get her to Anna. She's going to explain to you. Get this form. You got to fill this out. And I'm like, shit. Now we got to fill out forms. All right, so I fill out the form. Of course, I miss a couple of. They have the answer boxes, so I have to go back over that.
Oh, God.
The guy that I ran into, a friend of mine, Jay Lazine, shout out to you. He was like, yeah, we'll take a picture. We'll show we voted. He must have looked over at all the shit I had to go through and said, yeah, I'm out. What do you mean you didn't have that? She got paperwork to fill out. She got the lady showing her how to open and close it. This is going to be a process,
So wait a minute. They didn't give you a provisional?
They gave me... I did the regular thing. The thing, but I had to fill out paperwork. Yeah.
Oh,
then they gave me
a
pink slip that explained to me that I'm getting this because I didn't have something.
Well, you didn't,
Whatever it was.
You were supposed to surrender your mail-in ballot.
Yeah.
If you're going to vote at the poll.
Okay, yeah, that's what they said.
Yeah.
Which was, of course, always mayhem wherever I go. And in the meantime, my phone's going off, and it's Florida, who I've this was last. You know, I'm not even in the president.
Yeah.
I don't live in Florida anymore. We'll have to make those changes. Those are things people say, but they never get to.
No, of course.
So they'll be
not.
calling me again next year. Hi.
Listen. I get information asking for donations from the state of Illinois, Maryland, Florida.
I don't live there.
I don't live there anymore.
I moved.
But I'm still on their list.
Yeah, well.
So I wonder if I could get on a plane and vote in all of those states.
Oh, that's something. That's
You know
something.
what I mean?
Maybe
Start
we could
out-
Google that. How long before that they would know?
Do a red eye.
Do a red
fly
eye.
into Illinois and then
Could
jump
start
on a
a
plane and
group.
go to Maryland, then go down to Florida and then fly back out
Right.
before 8 o'clock at night on the West Coast and vote in California.
Well, it's amazing because there is this thing where I've run into many people who they don't vote, and you know,
Yeah.
like let's just take for instance how many homeless live in L.A.
Over 60,000.
Okay, 60. That's a lot in
Yeah,
voter
that's
swing.
bigger
So
than some small towns.
so how come no because if I was a politician, not only would they all have on my shirt, I've said this before, every damn one of you wearing vote for whatever.
Right.
Okay? Stupid politicians. You got billboards walking around, and none of you utilizing these people.
Yep. And
Okay?
you think they're not going to wear a nice, fresh, clean
That's a
T-shirt?
nice fresh T-shirt. They don't have their laundry done. They're
Right.
looking for the shirt from last Thursday, third block down. Okay?
Right.
Right? So I'm just thinking, if I was promoting myself, homeless people walking billboards, okay?
Yeah.
And then you have the sympathetics. You know, they'd be like, oh, man, look at that. That man went out, and you get a commercial with them. Billy Bob, he saw me, he got me something from Chick-fil-A. I got me I fed my family. Whatever. It's like nobody utilizes them. Why? None of these people are registered voters. Well, I'd be
No.
doing a bus. I'd be like, yo, how'd you like a free coffee, free meal? Let's go get your ass registered
Set
to
up a
vote.
voter
So
registration
voter registration.
table down on 6th
Sixth Street, right?
in downtown L.A.
What's wrong with these people? Lazy slackers, all of you.
Well, maybe you need an address.
Okay, you can have a post office box.
Yeah.
Right?
But now you got to set them up with a post office box because probably
Well,
90%
how
of
long
them
before the next damn election? I would tell
2
you.
years.
2 years. You got 2 years. That's about all the time you'd need
Yeah.
to start registering the homeless. All right? Out in L.A.
Yeah.
And that would be the platform that I would run on. Okay? I'm just saying. It could be me. Nobody, you know.
What are you running for?
Nobody out there votes. Just get your votes in. Just anybody but him. I said anybody but him is going to be my motto, okay?
I was
Just
talking to
please.
my son this morning, and I said, "Have you voted yet?" He's in Vegas, but he was in Dallas for about 5 months, and he registered in Dallas, in Texas. I said, "Well, where'd you vote? Did you vote in Texas or Nevada?" He said, "I voted in Nevada." He said, "But I'm registered in Dallas as well."
Okay.
But he had been living in Nevada for like 4 years. Then he was transferred to Dallas. He was there for 5 months. In the 5 months, he registered so he could vote on November 6th. I said, well, and he works for American Airlines. I said, why don't you get on a plane and go to Texas and vote there as well?
There as well. Yeah, I mean, what does it take? You know, this is actually the first
Yeah,
year.
well, who would know? Because the state controls the voting. It's not federally connected that way.
That's whack. Why is that?
Well, because that's the way the states want it to be done. I
Okay.
think all of the elections should be connected. It should be all on a federal level, especially on a presidential thing.
And they're not.
They're not.
That's whack.
Yeah, it is.
But it's not like we haven't had problems with it. I mean, did we ever find out?
What do
It
you
was
have
like,
to-
what was the results about the Russians playing with our voting thing?
There is no results yet. They're
Okay,
still
that's
under
still
investigation.
that's
yeah.
still out.
Yes.
How convenient. And I mean, it's just like
But the
I'm just
president said
wondering.
there was no interference
Of course.
from Russia.
Yeah, he also
Yeah.
has.
He's also Putin's bitch.
Yeah, he is. I love
Yeah.
some of the. You know,
Oh.
you see creativity
I
at its
know.
finest.
I know.
Some of the Photoshop, some of the stuff that
It's
they
scary.
did. Oh my God, it's amazing what
Yeah.
art. I mean, think about that. When you think about a world without artists, without writers, you know, the writers, the visualists,
Yeah.
and the comedians, as far as taking this to the next level, you know, I can't imagine existing. You know, it's like walking into a psychiatric ward and there's no music, and they're behind the desk. All I can think of is the Cuckoo's Nest.
Exactly.
When they had the music playing. Yeah, it's like everything run by somebody else to keep your little brain preoccupied with stupid shit. Because the distractions
that's what this president is good at.
Right. Distractions are like, we're the nation of like squirrel. What are the Kardashians? Who's doing that? What's his name say? And I mean, if all else fails, we can always go to blacks and white crime, although white fright, my new shirt, hashtag white fright. It's like, I would love to do a joke. If you had a black, a Muslim, a Latino that went out and bought M16s or whatever those rifles are and took out groups of white people, we're not talking about a couple. We're talking about groups of white people.
A few hundred.
Okay, a few hundred here and there. I'm just thinking, first of all, none of them would have made it to a hotel lobby.
Oh, no.
Okay?
No, forget about it.
So it's like, and schools and hot yoga. It's crazy-ass white people.
Yeah.
I mean,
how is it that they survive many times? They come out alive, and then when they're taking the trial, he was crazy.
He was crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like, no shit. Okay? But you gave him a gun.
But if you're a black guy, you end up with a bullet in your head.
You're done. You can't even get pulled over for a broken fucking taillight. Without getting, we had to shoot him. Yeah. You saw how he was acting up, holding his hands and waving the eye, and he was screaming.
I told him not to move.
He was saying, I don't have a gun. Don't shoot. Yeah, by all means. That's justified. I got you.
But something was in his hand.
Something was in his hands. A cell phone, right?
He was talking to his mom.
Yeah, right? Mom, it doesn't look good.
I just want you to know I love you.
I love you. Boom. Gone. Yeah. And you find that because... the tragedy is this is actually true, where I look at my white friends and I'm like, let me get this straight. Let me get this straight. We're against who? For doing what? I'm thinking people are like, you want to go to a country concert? No, I'm good. Anywhere they're selling beer and hot dogs, I don't know about that, okay? I mean, it just could be me.
Wait a minute. You're white. You're okay. You're going to survive.
I'm going to survive. Wait.
I can't go with you.
No, but they didn't take out black people at that. They're white people that are annihilating. I mean, what part of that don't the white people understand? Oh, by the way, the school shootings, the work shootings, it's always white people. Okay, I'm just 9.9% of them.
Yeah,
it could be me, but by all means, let's ship out the Mexicans, get rid of the but because
those are all of the distractions that the Republicans come up with to keep your mind on some bullshit.
Propaganda. Am I right?
Exactly. It's all about brainwashing.
Oh, it's like
now, if the president had campaigned on the good things that he's accomplished,
right,
he probably would not have lost the House. And would probably have had 65 members in the Senate, and he could have been the dictator that he wants to be.
I know. I like that the word dictator has dick in it.
Yeah,
such a dick.
It's capital D.
You're gonna go dickhead.
Yeah. So, but see, he's not that smart.
Yeah, but and I know, sense. Right? And I know that a lot of it is like even he's a distraction. I don't care what anybody says.
I swear.
If everybody thinks like the way things are, it's like, don't disturb me with my safety net of my comfortable life, believing the same things I believed. That really, there was a what was it? Was it of Mice and Men? There was a movie clip where the guy that was talking and it was 40 years old. This movie. And what they were saying in the movie, applied to exactly what's going on. And one of the things was the guy was saying he wasn't upset until the guy said something, and the Jews, and he's like, well, what's wrong with the Jews? Now, blah, blah, and then the guy goes, oh, it was fine because he didn't include you. He was talking about everybody else. Mm-hmm. And it's like,
when it hits home.
When it hits home, but here you are, it's like, are white people just not paying attention? No. I understand it was a a country concert, and the guy went up and picked off a whole crowd of people. No,
Yeah.
no. I understand that the young white children are just disturbed and misunderstood. They're
Yeah.
bullied.
He wasn't on his meds.
He wasn't on his meds. I mean, could you imagine, like, what black person has ever been given that right to
No.
say that? Ain't gonna happen,
no,
right? And
no.
in the society that we live in today, let's take that. You know, somebody says about minorities, I'm like, oh, let's bring in women. It's like even watching the trials, I'm like, what planet, what eyes do people hear and see through?
But see,
Why haven't we become more with the internet and the ability to talk to somebody and see what's going on in these countries where, oh my God, I mean, the rights and the things that we have in this country that are in place, and yet we're still like the craziest bunch of depressed, stressed out nation where nobody should be hungry. That's the other thing. In this
No.
country, nobody should be hungry.
Absolutely right.
Nobody should be uneducated.
That's right. No one should be standing in front of the grocery store asking for pocket change.
No, and it's like,
To eat.
really, pocket change? I was giving out 20s. But anyways,
Where do you shop? Let me hang out over there. I went to the grocery store tonight to buy some water for the office. Which reminds me, I need to take some of it out of the freezer.
oh shit,
Because I
right?
put it in there just for you to cool it down real quick. But the guy was standing outside, he was begging. And I said, I really don't have any cash. I said, I live in that plastic world. He kind of chuckled. But inside the store, they have packages that they've put together
For the homeless?
for the homeless or whoever you want to give it to.
Great idea.
So I bought one. It was like $11.
That's very generous.
And I came out and I gave it to him. He looked at me like, what the hell you want me to do with this? You got a can opener? I said, oh, shit. I
Yeah, I, have
didn't
to
think
go,
about that.
I just have to go to a whole nother store now.
Yeah,
They
right.
should have,
Let me
yeah,
go
that
back
wasn't
in
too
and
well
buy a
thought.
can opener for you so you can open these canned goods.
Well, if that's the thing, to have a business, and like I said this to you, working at some of the events that I've worked, doing catering, doing the LA Hustle, and, at a bar mitzvah or a bat mitzvah, where these people are spending $125,000 for their 13-year-older and their friends, and it really was...
It's not for the kids.
No, it's for the adults. And
yes,
the
to show
lesson
off for the
learned
adults.
was there was
Yeah.
the baby shower that I worked, and the woman was like all about how everything looked and demanding, and who said that, and we need more of these, and get that, the Raven Maven in the middle of the ring.
It's to
At the
show off.
end of it, she walked up to me and she said, "Did you see the shower down the hall?" And I said, "Oh, I actually did. Was it better than my shower?" And I'm like, seriously?
No, yours was warmer.
Seriously?
more soap.
I was like,
And you need to get your ass
What?
in the shower.
right? But you know something? It was this woman was raging. She'd actually asked for to-go containers. The girl said, we were all looking for these stupid to-go containers, and the girl said, "My boss says we don't have it," and she said, "Basically, you're a liar." And I'm like, oh my God, may I never live long enough to have so much money that I think that I was from a different existence.
I know. They get so petty sometimes.
Oh, it's like
Yeah.
I've worked, I've lived, I know of, and being in these circles, it's like the power that comes. The thing that amazes me is people with fame that have the voices and the power that still remain petty and at a lower level.
Wes, but you know what the problem is? I don't care how much money they have. They don't have any class.
Yeah, well, that's
They
what I'm
don't have
saying.
any class.
It's like you have to have a certain mentality to understand, and like for instance, Gates just spent I saw $2 billion or $200 billion on toilets. All right, but what he's looking for, and the toilets that they have turn less water turn waste into like reusable, and the water is purified, and all of this other stuff, fertilizer, whatever he's doing is to take.
It's recyclable energy or whatever. Yeah.
And I'm like, well, that idea of if you had that much money and to go out and seek. And it's to me, it's your obligation to make this world a better place.
And that's what he and his wife were trying to do
very
through
much
their
so.
nonprofit organization. And they really plan to give it all away. They don't care.
Right, because their children, I mean, I read that.
Everything is straight.
And it's like, and you see these knuckleheads, it's like, how do they give these people so much power and so much money? Because we idolize them. You know, the fact that our teachers and you know, like, I'm sorry, firefighters that, you know, risk their life, the thing of all that. And it's like, we have these people that have so much money and so much power, or they become famous. And I don't know about you, but some of the things that famous people own and buy and look like.
I was watching a YouTube video. It must have been 2:00 this morning. I wake up at these stupid hours and pick up my phone.
What's on YouTube?
The worst thing in the world to
Don't do it.
I know.
Stay away from the light, yo. That's what they were talking about.
Oh, my God. I wake up at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and by the time I'm, like, exhausted from watching stuff on YouTube, it's 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning. I've watched for 2, 3 hours sometimes of stuff on the internet. But I was watching this thing, and they were talking about LeBron James, how many houses he has, how much they cost, the number of cars, and I mean, like,
not
so
stuff
he's making $154 million over
a minute.
No, yeah, really, and all the endorsements and shit, right? Yeah, he's doing some great things. He put $8 million into a school in Ohio. Where he's from, Akron, Ohio.
He's one of the few. I know Drake is also very generous like that.
But you know what? What do you need? And then he's got like millions of dollars in watches. What do you need all that for?
I
mean, God bless you. You know, you can have anything you want.
I don't know.
But I don't need a $28,000 watch on my arm.
I don't know.
I don't need that.
And it's what it has to come from the beginning.
Because you have the money to do it doesn't mean it makes sense. And these companies and designers, they prey on people and get them to buy this bullshit. What do you need it for?
Yeah, I love the thing where they did this was a 2020 report that the most expensive glasses that people are buying, designer glasses, are made in the same factory as your 1999 specials from LensCrafter.
Oh, that's
they
crazy.
All come out of the
shit.
same shit, just different design. You're not buying anything spectacular. I remember going in and I'm looking at these lenses on these 268 pair of, who is it? It was Versace.
Yeah.
You know, they got the gold, they got this, and I went, ting, ting, ting. I go, these aren't even glass.
It's plastic.
It's black. Why would you? Seriously, are you that desperate? Now, my personal opinion is I'll make my own shit, put my own name on it.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
I mean, seriously, that's what I would find is like, why do I want to wear somebody else's name on my body?
You know what? You must be my soulmate because I feel the same way. I'm not going to pay more money to put your name on my back. I'm not doing that. And I don't wear designer clothes. I don't do it.
No. And I still have this, you know, like the idea of having schools of actually, if I was rich, I would have little entrepreneur schools. I would go in and like summer camps. I would say, send me your children, okay, for camp, and we're going to teach them how to make a product, market a product, and present a product, and get backing for it. And let's see what these young minds come out with. And, I mean, encourage this growth and these minds from inner cities and stuff, because there is not one mind, unless, okay, you got a slight, I mean, you know, nature didn't work it out right. My ex-husband's, a little something like that. But I mean, if you're slightly there, but
you got half a sperm.
If you got, whatever. Oh, you know what I was thinking? That reminds me. I wonder if, like, I was at the racetrack and they're like, and if the horse is a champion, he sires. He goes out and he gets at least, you know, his sperm is worth like a bazillions of dollars. And I'm like going, I wonder if they would think that way when they look at these athletes. Like, is that coming next? No pun intended.
Oh, yeah.
But is that the next world? Like, let's take LeBron James or any of these incredible athletes, because back in the day, and I don't mean to open any wounds. But back in the day, they bred black people based on features,
Sure.
which is why white people are afraid
Good
because they made
workers.
the superior race, but they have you convinced, not you, but there's a lot of black people that buy into that there's no way you're less. That's why the white person's so scared of you. And,
Don't give up any secrets.
That's it. No, I know, right?
Right.
Don't give away any of them secrets. I'm just saying, based on, the sauce that I've seen, the joy, the music, the humor, everything, passion, even when it comes down to like not liking something. And I love that, the attitude. Like I follow this one woman, Amanda Seals, and she is just like, you don't mess with her. Like I'm even afraid to text the wrong thing because she lays into people. Like I love people that don't give a shit what anyone else thinks of them. But let's get back to the mind. So you have these incredibly, when you look at people as a whole, okay, and let's take out all the other factors, minds are created. Most people have, it's just 99.9%, I believe, has something within them that they have to offer this world. Something unspoken, unsaid, that'll never be discovered because whatever it is that keeps us thinking we're less or we, they
don't have the opportunity to present, expose, talk about, or even dream with the possibility that something could come true.
Yeah, because
you know what I mean?
If you took,
I can't think about that in all way.
Right, the impossibilities. Yeah. But if you took, like, you have the game, like The Voice and America's Got Talent. Why not America's Got entrepreneurs? America's Got inventions. America's Got things that. Why don't? I'd watch that. I'd watch creative young people doing amazing things.
Shh. Don't talk about it.
Don't talk about that. Right the treatment.
Don't give away the
Another
idea.
brainstorm, as the guy said. The comedian who looked at me goes, so you're just a lazy genius. You just have these brilliant ideas that you're like, here, why don't you just take this and run with it?
Right.
But yeah, because all I see is repetition of like, okay, how is it that because this person I'm watching on TV is on The Voice or any of those shows, every single person on that show is insanely talented.
Yeah.
Insane. But you're going to pick one. And for the rest of you, go back, be a wedding singer. But you're still at a level of performing.
Above most people,
by a God-given talent.
Yeah.
That aside,
there
is recognition for other God-given talents or whoever your higher power is. Talent, usefulness. You are here for a purpose. Give people a purpose. Just like I said, the idea of people that are comedians. And I don't really think, even at that level where everybody goes, oh, yeah, you're funny, you go up, you tell jokes, what a great life. And then you hear the backstories from being on my show of how much these people grind, what it is. There's a billion people going for your job. Promoters that don't want to pay. Exactly. Clubs that have glut so many, like whoever fills the seats, who gives a shit about the comedians.
Right.
And yet, with everything that they do, you could take that to anything that you're going to do in life. If you're creating something, if you're building something, if you're an entrepreneur for something, saddle up because you are in for a hell of a ride. It's a lot of hard work.
It is.
It's a lot of commitment. And the end result,
a lot of competition.
A lot of competition in every single thing you can imagine. But the value of it is priceless. Because to me, if in a perfect world, we would all be these people that were allowed to create and do what it was that we were created for to the best of our ability to contribute back to others. In other words, you're a mathematician, just do your genius mathematician stuff because what you're going to create and not be prohibited from doing that because of your social status, the color of your skin, where you live.
Yeah.
It's just like crazy that we as a world, first of all, everything that you desire, need, or whatever is on this earth. Plants that will heal you, food that'll, all of that, okay? Yep. We don't want to deal with that. Let's fuck with Mother Nature. Let's jack that sucker
create
up.
Some synthetic bullshit.
It's a 40-pound apple.
82 side effects to fix one thing.
I have no idea why there's so much autism and why there's so much birth defects and women are infertile and little girls at 8 are already, having. We have no idea. But, the society that we live in as people. Well, we have an idea, but
we're creating all this shit that we're eating and drinking, and that's poisoning our systems and just destroying society.
Well,
you know,
while you're unable.
Well, let me put it to you this way: I drive all over LA every day, doing Uber, Lyft, and my private limo business. Right. When I was growing up, young girls didn't look the way they look today.
No shit. I was one of them.
I'm going, what the hell is she eating?
Well, yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I mean, and then don't talk about a 25 or 30-year-old. It's like body designed by Fisher. I mean, it's like perfect. Nothing. I mean, the curves and they didn't make them like that when I was 18, you were born, 19 years old.
The wrong generation. It isn't just that, but it's also the articulation. I'll watch some of the videos of these little children. There was one about this little Asian girl, and she's sitting there, Mommy, you and Daddy should be friends. I mean, she goes into this intense brain dialogue like she's the oldest soul walking psychotherapist for family. Get your shit together care. And then you'll see other videos where children have an incredible gift of process that is mind-blowing to me.
It is.
But in the same respect, it's hopeful because I'm hoping they're smarter than the idiots from generation to generation to not figure out we're fist-fighting ourselves on every single level of the gifts that we have as being human.
Yeah.
For like what is the greatest aspiration that everybody has, and it's at the basis of everybody wants to be successful, but success isn't as much if you don't have anyone to share it with.
Yeah.
And I just don't mean like,
I agree.
But people you can laugh with, people you can share your joy with. I mean, that connection that we all need.
Right.
While we're slapping each other upside the head saying, you don't look like me. Shit, too bad we all weren't born blind.
Yeah, right.
That'll be,
right.
I mean, if
it might be better.
It might be better than judging everybody from across the way.
That's true.
And, that has a lot to do with everything that we do. If you actually go on and do the research that I've done is what is causing the biggest draw? What are people looking at? What are getting the most hits? What video? And it's, oh my God, some of it is like, really?
Yeah, people are getting record deals based on how many YouTube and Facebook and Instagram followers they have. I'm going, really?
Yeah.
Let's evaluate this person on raw talent. Not the hype.
No, and
hell, I can get you 500,000 followers on Instagram or Twitter or whatever in 5 days. You buy enough damn ads.
That's real.
Yeah.
Okay,
that is
actually
ads to do that. Okay,
that's mind blowing.
And now you can also buy fake followers.
Yeah,
but people are hip to that now. When you go to somebody and they got 8 million followers, and
I saw a post.
7,999,000 of them don't have pictures,
right?
And they don't have followers.
Okay,
they're a bunch of eggheads. They don't.
Okay,
those are the
ones that
those
I see.
Those are fake.
Well,
those are Donald Trump.
Listen, I was at the racetrack, and one of the guys there was there during the filming of Seabiscuit, and there was another movie that was filmed there. It'll come to me. But he was telling me, he said, they only filled the first few, when he was showing me for extras, and the rest were blow-up vinyl dummies.
No, really?
And like, I'm laughing because it makes you the magic of Hollywood. But, there's actually something to be said about the smoke and mirrors, and that's why they call it Tinseltown.
Sure.
It's like, if you're smart, and again, I don't want to take away from the people, there's brilliant minds that know how to master, because someone thought of that, how to get those followers and all of that.
Yeah.
And to be able to learn that, because I'm like sitting there and it's like, seriously, there's how many people that viewed this?
Mm-hmm.
For what? Why would, in those 30 seconds, what was it about? It usually is shock value, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Emotional value. Animals always win.
Oh, yeah. Animals and babies.
And not just that, animals, baby. But the funniest thing is, like, I love that the homeless catch on to that. The guy had a cat that was sleeping on his shoulder. But I don't know, because I was in a restaurant where they had a fat cat sitting on the shelf and it was animated. It wasn't real. And the thing's eyes were blinking. It was spooky as shit, but it looked real. And I went, huh, I wonder if the guy actually had a real cat on his shoulder. Because I don't know if a cat would actually lay like that.
Right,
all right?
right.
And we're both hungry. His son was like, we both need food. I'm like,
right.
Going for the emotional edge, are you?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I was doing a live broadcast in 1973 in a H. Salt Fish and Chips place in East St. Louis, Missouri.
Really?
A live broadcast from there, right? It was like a grand opening or whatever. And this guy came in. He had a big, huge afro and a fucking pet squirrel in his hair. He went up there to order food. I'm going, oh, this freaking squirrel don't jump off into this hot grease.
People must have been fascinated with that.
They were. Everybody was like,
People
hey,
must
man,
have been
you got a squirrel in your afro. He goes, yeah, I know. It's my pet.
Oh, my God.
He was just
I would
running
have said,
around
which is the
around his
pet?
head.
Your afro or the squirrel? I'm just wondering, because both are out of control, yo.
Yeah, and then he came out of his hand, was down on his shoulder, walking around his neck. And
I can't even imagine.
I'm going, that's crazy.
I would have to think, it's really kind of funny because, everybody, the oddity, like you go down to South Beach and they hand you a parrot. And I don't get the guy had the parrot on his shoulder and he hands me the parrot and then he puts another one on my shoulder and now he's taking pictures.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, $10 for the picture.
Right.
And I went, you entrepreneur, yeah. But see, nowadays...
You should have taken that sign off the top of your head that said sucker. Off.
But of course, nowadays people just take their own pictures.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
so you're out.
He's scuffling, yeah.
And it really is kind of funny as to like sit home and think long and hard about, simple things like if I could just get a catchphrase on a T-shirt that 1 billion people wanted to buy.
Yeah.
And I joke. Henry Coleman, that he was on my show, and his shirt says Ghetto Nerd. So I like to support the comedians. I'm a knucklehead like that. And I said to him, hey, man, I'd like to support you. Let me buy a shirt. He says, yeah, no problem. He says, just put $35. And I went, what? $35? I said, where's the ghetto in that? I mean, could be me. But, that whole thing, Ghetto Nerd, it sells. He does very well with the shirts.
Wow.
And, yeah, I'm like, dude, if you're selling these, kudos to you. You're getting $35 for these? But my mind always, because I was in sales for 20 years, my mind always goes to that, the way people think. It's always about you let them think they're getting a deal.
Yeah.
And you're more apt, marketing 101. I mean, some of these people aren't real smart about how to market what they're doing. And other comedians are brilliant at it. Shang's one of them. He's brilliant doing his own social media, his own promotion. He cuts a record. I mean, marketing it. And I'm just like, the other comedians that are able to bring in sponsors that are doing IGs where they actually have the product, the tequila. One of the guys, Tony Cobain, did a tequila commercial. Mm-hmm. And, they know how to market themselves. And, of course, Kevin is the master at it.
Controlling your own brand. That's what you have to do.
Right.
You create something and you own it, you control it, you sell it, you do it all. So what does that mean? You make more money because you're not having to share it or split it up with somebody else. Right.
Well, that's huge. You take out the middle guy.
Yeah.
The other side of that is, like you said, there's a lot of people getting discovered because they're doing their music and they're doing, Logic was one of them. He won awards and all he was all through YouTube. So, and as that becomes more and more the developmental format of where we're going, because it's inevitable, live streaming.
Yeah, we're there.
We're already there.
Yeah.
And it's just catching up with as a performer, as an entrepreneur, as a marketer. What are you doing to understand how to maximize that?
Well, it goes back to what you were saying earlier when you say, they have these competition shows and they pick one winner. Well, there were 12 or 15 or 30 other people were talented also. May not have been the best, but they were talented. They sing better than me. So, that's not saying much, but what happens to them? Well, they can go on a YouTube or some of these other social media platforms and get exposure and create their own success without being discovered on one of these shows. You create your own success.
Well,
there's no limitation now because you can get exposure.
I'm just like sitting here. It's so funny. One of the comedians is actually this, and I'm not going to let Scruncho live this down. And Big Jaw is actually, shout out to Big Jaw. Big Jaw, what you doing? I really have to say that if the ideas, and it takes money to make money, but I also know that there are people with money who, if you have first of all, if you do have a business plan, and like I keep thinking there's got to be a better way to promote comedians. There's got to be a better way to do a show that isn't, it's time. Because what they're doing in LA with the show, it's like repeat. And why aren't you, packing house? It's like, unless you're a big headliner. But there's got to be another, what can we do to bring in more people to the shows other than comedians going to see comedians? Because comedians are broke. So what would you do as a venue, as an owner of a place that would actually, and to me it would be to, the idea of giving them, doing a broadcast, making it almost like the entertainment value a little bit different, creating a hype and an energy and giving something. I personally would be like, we have a door prize tonight. We have a $500 door prize that we're, as a business, you come in, you buy a ticket, everybody gets a route. I mean, seriously, there is even a free TV. Think about that. The marketers I worked in furniture stores, and you always at the holiday sales, you had to have those the stuff people are standing in line 2 days for. So the entertainment world, and I only know this because I worked for two brothers who use entertainment. Their brother was in the entertainment industry, and they brought that into their furniture store. And Warren Buffett ended up buying these two brothers out in Boston. I mean, they had an IMAX theater. They had the whole thing done like Bourbon Street. They had shows. They had the streetcar named Dessert. I mean, it was the marketing. Well, let's flip that. Why not, if just me personally, if I was trying to promote my comedians and do something to get people in the door, I would give or do something that nobody else is doing for the incentive to bring a crowd.
Well, see, the problem is the owners or the managers of these comedy stores, clubs, or whatever you want to call them, are followers. They're not leaders. They're not terribly creative. And they're doing old school business. They're not thinking outside of the box, as the saying goes. They're just doing what everybody else is doing. So if the Comedy Store is doing,
podcast,
open mic, every Wednesday, then we got to do the same thing. We'll do it on Tuesday.
Well,
or whatever.
Okay, and here's the thing too. The idea of, and all the same comedians. Think about that. It's all the same groups of comedians.
Sure.
So, and I'm not dissing the comedians. But I know, like, I put my little foot in the water, and that's the first thing I thought of. What could I do differently?
Absolutely.
To bring in,
differentiate you from
they
the
want to
rest.
come to my club.
Right.
I mean, Urban Cowboy came out, and even that Saddle whatever down on Sunset has a mechanical bull. But a lot of clubs went out to get the people to come in, and they brought in mechanical bulls.
Yeah.
And, nothing draws a crowd like a crowd. His name was, no, I did not. But what I'm thinking is that, the other side of that, it really is funny. The amount of ideas that when I sit and I look at this, because I was fortunate enough to be around geniuses in marketing.
Well, I tell you what.
What?
I'll give you the answer to your question or your observation after the show. Because I don't want to.
He doesn't want to put that on the air, folks.
Exactly.
Which is usually every week. He's like, "Why'd you say that out loud?" And next week, as I announce this, it's actually really cool. Big Jaw is he will show up. Scruncho, I don't know what happened.
He got scrunched.
He's got scrunched, and I'm just letting
Was it Big Jaw?
Big Jaw, which everybody knows on Instagram, was Big Jaw. 6'5", 6'6". He's as big as he is wide. He did make it here when Yahweh Poetic was on. He came in, but he came in towards the end of the show.
Oh yeah, I remember.
And he was like, fills the seat up real good. He's like, I really want to do a whole show. But what we want to do is something different. Me and my ideas is we're going to run his Instagram clips, and we're going to play those, and then we're going to talk about them.
Yeah, that's
and
cool.
then we're going to, hopefully people will call in and talk to him, because, I mean, basically you can't access these people. I mean, that's what's...
Yeah, that's true. Unless you just put comments under their videos.
On their videos.
Yeah, and if the artist doesn't have time to...
Well, let me put it this way. His last video got 60,000 views, so I'm pretty sure he's not going to be looking at 60,000 comments. He can't.
That's a lot, yeah.
So to be able to call in and talk to them, even if, like, what I'd like to do is have an open format where they can actually call in ideas for a skit.
Well, tell him to do a 30-second video, maybe a couple of days before coming on the show, to promote the fact that he's going to be on the Comedy Hour Live, on the Power of Voices. It's going to be, and give him the links in terms of where they can actually view it. And that way he can drive traffic to the show and say, I will take questions from you.
Right.
And give him the number for people to call in.
Yeah, that he can do a little clip. Yeah, we had talked about that.
Do a little promo to promote the fact that he's going to be on your show, and he'll take phone calls from the audience.
He's one of those Instagrammers where they bounce off of each other's Instagram. And what the beauty of some people are in this, Big Jaw's got a huge amount of followings, okay? And he's very accessible. He's very genuine. He doesn't have the attitude like, well, I actually had one guy say, get in touch with my publicist. And I'm looking at him. He has 44,000 followers. And that's a lot, but it's not for some of the people I've had on my show. So I said, wow, that's really, okay. You know, whatever I could do. I said, whatever you need. He goes, what do you mean what I need? That's the protocol, not protocol. That's usually the way it is. That's usually the process, he said.
Well, see,
and I sat laughing. I go, well, you're the first one that's sending me to your public. Did you just get a publicist and you want to use?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. He wants to feel important. He wants to show out.
So that's all fine and
Give
well.
me your publicist's number. I'll give him a call. No
but
problem.
yeah, we're going to do that.
I wouldn't even, debate with him.
So when you see this, be it if you just happen to catch it on my page later, Big Jaw, please see him on Instagram. He's going to be on next week, and we're going to have a call-in. We're going to be showing a lot of the clips that he does, the stars that are on that, everyone from Jahan to Yornay to Mila Dawn. I mean, I could go on and on about all the performers that have gone in and out of the Instagram clips and sketches that he's done. And you guys will have you'll have a blast, because there's a lot of things and a lot of knowledge. If you have to call in to find out, you're going to get an answer. And as far as me, Lee, thank you for sitting in.
No
Scruncho,
problem.
you son of a bitch. Really?
Next time, call my publicist if you want me to.
Yeah, next
be on
time
your
you
show.
deal with my publicist and your people. All right, happy election night, everybody. Thank you for voting, and I'll see you out there. Take me out, Lee.
Get a stag, yo. 50 grand, make your job disappear. I look the part, yeah, I look Davenir. Get my order right, or I'ma bust a Yui. I don't like raw fish in my sushi. Want a big tip, better get the cooking. I am not paying you for all this lipping. Sapphire diamonds, yeah, they bluey. Put them around your neck, you look.